Welcome back to BEATER Wrestling. Today we're going through a very basic fundamental schoolboy, just with an added twist to add some flair to it, and then a really good counter that you can do from that schoolboy into an omoplata. So with a schoolboy, wherever you want to hit it from, generally you'll be taught to aim with your right hand going across the body, hooking their hip. So I'm going to reach through. I like to bring my left hand to the side of their waist just to keep that initial connection, so we're not missing it if we're being too fast or not working well together. So left hand on the hip, right hand scoops through, and we bring them down. And we're always taught to go full body over their hamstrings and usually push down on the shoulder. But for this one, I'm going to keep twisting. So as I bring my opponent down, I'm going to keep twisting, posting through the mat, and get to here. So back to the hamstrings, and just adding that extra little bit of body press to it. Particularly, if you're a smaller wrestler, a cruiserweight, or you're wrestling a bigger opponent and you want to add more to those pinning combos to make them more legitimate as a false finish, this is the perfect way to do it. So schoolboy, float over to the back. The next one is the counter. So you can't do this counter if they do roll to the back, but if they do a regular schoolboy, so if you just come up and hit a regular schoolboy, if we end up in this position, right, this is perfect opportunity for an omoplata. An omoplata is a hammerlock using your legs. It's the setup for a label lock for Bryan Danielson's finish. But I want to kick whichever my bottom leg is, so the leg that's under the armpit, I want to kick it over the top of the armpit and get my feet to the ground. So when they pin me here, it's going to be my left foot, kick it over the top, and really crunch it down to the mat. That will usually flatten them out here. Now we need this wrist close to their body. Remember, we want it to be more like a hammerlock than a wrist lock. So if it's not happening naturally, you can use your hand to bring it across into your pocket. And I want to put all my pressure down on that hip and sit up. Now this alone is a really effective arm submission, very common in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. To finish it, I would generally sit up and start leaning my pressure in. Now where you see Danielson's label lock come into play, he uses the crossface as the submission hold, but a crossface is a really good way to also prevent some of my opponent's counters for this. So generally, someone in this position is going to naturally want to roll out. If they forward roll out, I don't have the hold anymore. So I want to put pressure down on this part of the body. Simple way to do it, I can lean forward, lock my hands together and start to lean in and get the tap. I could use that crossface, sliding across the face, start to lock in here. Or if you've got a bit of creativity in what you're doing, you could start to lock up other limbs as well and add to this hold, depending on your flexibility. But this is the omoplata here. You do not need to lock your feet. In fact, I find that hurts it more than helps it. You just got to keep heavy on the hip, legs bent, crunch in, and post up off those toes to add that extra pressure.